month is Heart Healthy Month. It's also known as the silent killer. Heart disease takes the lives of 1 out of every 4 people, and it's the leading killer for both men and women. So experts hope people across America will use February as a chance to get checked out. And Kate Chappell spoke with a local heart attack victim about his experience and joins us now with the story. It's quite a story, too.
Well, it is, because when you think heart attack, you probably don't think young, healthy man, right?
Yeah, right.
But Antonio Sergio was just 38 when he had a heart attack. He was an unlikely victim. He exercised, he ate well, he thought he did everything right. But last year, his life changed. Now he's hoping others can learn from his story.
They were like, you're having a heart attack. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm fit. There's no way I'm having a heart attack.
Denial from the moment of diagnosis. It's behavior that's common among heart attack victims.
So I left the hospital. I refused. I was like, no, I'm out of here. And so I left the hospital, and I had 2 nurses actually in tears saying, hey, don't leave. You're going to die on the street. I still remember this. It's kind of weird talking about it.
Antonio Sergio was just 38 when he had what doctors call a widowmaker heart attack in May of 2013.
I've eaten right, and worked out my whole life to the point where I was working out like about an hour and a half every day. And I come to find out that, he said, if you wouldn't have been eating right and working out, you probably would be dead right now. My troponin levels were like 3.11, which is the highest they've ever seen. And then on my EKG, it showed what's called a STEMI. It's a widowmaker. It's basically, they said I should have died.
Experts say when someone is having an attack, their heart releases enzymes called troponin. I
literally was walking like an 80-year-old. That's the best way I can explain it. I was walking like 12 inches at a time, foot in front of the other. I mean, I was in such pain. It felt like I had 2 hands inside my chest squeezing my heart.
While arm and chest pain are common among victims, the signs aren't always clear.
I think a lot of people expect this crushing chest pain to happen, and they grab their chest and they fall to the ground, and it's obviously a heart attack. But that's not always the case. In fact, there are a lot of symptoms that are very vague. The average person waits about 2 hours with full-blown chest pain before they finally decide there's something wrong and I probably ought to get it checked.
High risk factors for heart disease include poor nutrition, family history, and stress.
When I think of a heart attack, I think of someone who basically, eats fried food all the time, doesn't exercise, a lot older than, 39. It just shows you that, a heart attack doesn't discriminate against anybody.
In Antonio's case, his eating habits and exercise regimens probably saved his life, although his doctors still aren't sure what caused the heart attack. But one thing they do know, his experience has changed his life forever. And it's a story he hopes can bring awareness to others.
I mean, if I told people anything, it would be just, enjoy the time you have on this earth and spend as much time as you can with the ones you love, and don't take anything for granted. I mean, if you feel something's wrong, get checked out, because if you want to be there to see, your child graduate, or you want to be there to see them get married, to make sure you're alive.
Now, the most important thing to do is get regular checkups. Have your cholesterol levels and blood pressure checked. Prevention can save your life, because remember, heart disease is preventable. You can find Antonio's story on our website later this morning, plus links to helpful information like a BMI calculator. Just click on this story.
What an emotional story. He's clearly rattled by this, and this would do this to anyone, obviously. How is he doing today?
He seemed fine. Of course, like you mentioned, still emotional. It's still hard for him to tell the story because it has been less than a year. But of course, he is on track to be doing better. But he had such a healthy lifestyle before. You heard him mention he was working out about an hour and a half every day. He's definitely cut back on that. He's still working out because it's healthy. But every time his heart beats fast, he said, he gets nervous with good reason.
Well, and maybe in his case, it's paying attention to those warning signs and not ignoring when you have this really, that pain right in the middle of your chest.
That's right.
He's going to go to the hospital.
Oh, he is. He's not going to be feisty about getting over there anymore. But one thing that can lead to this is stress, of course. So I'm sure he's going to be cutting back anything that could cause extreme stress in his life. Just taking those deep breaths can be so important.
And relax. All right. Thanks so much. Important information, Kate.